everybody? Colin here from Talking Ball, of course. And I'm just jazzed. I'm so happy. This smile here. This is totally the real deal. And just can't wait to keep the party going. And speaking of keeping the party going, let's bring in the party girl herself, Ellie.
Yay!
Hey.
Let's get this party started. Let's get this party started. Woo! Come on, you Spurs.
Yeah. So hey, I just want to start this off. I'm a little bit ill, so if my voice sounds funny, that's all it is. But
Right.
yeah, I couldn't not do a stream after that.
Yeah.
What a match! What a match!
I know. And Spurs are your pill to make you better, Colin.
Exactly. I've got more energy than I've had for days.
Yeah.
What a match! Real quick.
I know. Brilliant match.
What was your
End
favorite?
to end. Burnley gave their all as well.
Yeah.
They weren't slacking. It's just that we were better. Yeah, in all departments, our defence played really, really well. Udoji, oh my God, he won every single duel. And when he came out and headed that ball, he just went, that ball's mine, boof. I love him.
He's awesome, and especially for such a young guy. And he's got stamina for days. I don't know if you saw it, but at the very end of the match, he made a sprint up that left-hand side at full speed. I mean, after 94 minutes, I mean, he didn't, it didn't slow him down at all. He's a machine.
Yeah, he's super fit. And he's got the technical skill as well to keep the ball, and no one's getting the ball off him. No one. He's similar to Basuma, but with more pace. And he's going to learn more as he gets older and older. Because, like, Basuma's a little bit ahead of him in terms of culture, like the culture play. But he will learn that. And he plays a different position as well. So I like him. I think he's fabulous. Yeah.
Same. Definitely a solid addition to the squad. We know we've been waiting a year for him to come, and I think well worth the wait.
I know.
But yeah, so I mean, it was a match full of goals. Do you have a favorite right off the bat?
I don't have a favourite because they were. I suppose Romero's goal is my favourite. Because
I thought you might say
what
that.
was funny, right, Colin? I was watching the QPR game as well on the main TV, and I was watching our match on my phone. And QPR scored an identical goal to Romero's goal.
No way.
Is that exactly the same? Yeah. Oh,
one of those days, I guess.
Yeah.
What a rocket! I mean, I thought it was going over, and it dipped right at the perfect time, unstoppable.
I know. Brilliant shot.
Do a real quick shout out to Meta Football TV.
Come on.
Nice to have you here. Truly appreciate it. You're a good one. And speaking of which, we've also got Chris Peters in the chat. What's up, Chris? Glad to have you here. I'll say the link is posted. The link is here. If anybody would like to jump in, feel free. This is a party that everybody's invited to.
Come on.
And and I literally I'm like a little kid. I'm so excited. I feel that everyone's been singing that we've got our Tottenham back, and that's how I feel.
We got our Tottenham back. We got our Tottenham back. It's so good. I sent so many messages, like singing songs. Like I was so happy because it's not just because we won 5-2. It's the determination of each and every player to do their utmost to get us back, because we 1-0 down with 4 minutes only on the clock, and then we showed a character to come back, but not only come back but score 5 fantastic goals, all created in different ways. But I thought Solomon as well, you got to give him props, even though it wasn't a perfect performance from him, but it was near perfect.
And what an improvement on Tuesday too. I mean, he played Tuesday in that awful match, and he showed with the right crew around him that he can be a useful part of the squad, which some people have written him off completely after Tuesday. So I'm really glad for him and for his confidence that he got to start.
Yeah, and also like Maddison was helping him as well with the link-up play. He was joining him, and he made a couple of really good runs. It was unfortunate that pass was a bit heavy to Maddison, and you could see Maddison was quite. He was
irritated.
He was frustrated, right? So he wanted to have a go at little Solomon, but he didn't. He just got on with it, put his head down, and Solomon as well. You know, it didn't let it affect them. You know, they just carried on professional. Yeah.
It was something else, and that kind of leads me into my main talking point of the day. Is Maddison our new talisman? We've lost Harry Kane, who was our talisman. He was kind of the heartbeat of the squad for so long. Yeah. But we've got Maddison now, and I mean, I think I see him doing many of the same things Kane did, and you know, they said that, you know, you can't replace Kane with one player. Totally agree, but I think between Kulu and Maddison, I mean, Kulu actually has incredible hold up play. I don't think he gets enough credit for his hold up play. Which is something Kane excelled at. And then Maddison's got the creativity and goal scoring. I'm incredibly pleased with this squad, with this team, with the way that things are going, the direction things are going. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Wonderful to watch, and it gets you in the heart when your team plays with all that passion and all that power and all that desire to go and get the victory when you've gone 1-0 down. And I liked Basuma as well because he stepped up again, right? So he was playing more of the solid role, you know, like picking the ball up from defence and driving forward, right? And he's a box-to-box midfielder anyway. He can do it all. But like Maddison is pulling the strings because like Basuma had quite a few shots on goal, but he's not a goal scorer. He's like Dembele, isn't he? He reminds me. Yeah, he reminds me of Dembele a lot. But you can't get the ball off him. That's one thing for sure. He's not.
Yeah, that's very Dembele-like. Absolutely, yeah.
And I agree with you up to a point with Kulu. There was a couple of times I was a bit frustrated with him because he could have done a little bit better here and there. But in terms of his hold-up play, yes, he didn't lose the ball. I think he lost the ball a couple of times only when he went to take his player on. But he didn't actually lose it when he was receiving the ball. He's very good at protecting that ball and bringing other players into play, which he doesn't get a lot of credit for. He gets quite a lot of criticism lately because he's not hit the heights of when he first came in. But listen, he's only 23. He's still learning, right? And the Premiership is a very tough league. There's no easy games, right? So he'll get better. He'll get better. You know, he'll pick up form because we know he's got it in his locker to do more than he's showing presently.
And part of that, do you think part of that, Ellie, is the fact that he was new to the league, he was an unknown, and so teams didn't know how to play him, didn't know how to defend against him, didn't know what he was going to do. Now he's kind of a known quantity, and players, you know, teams know how to prepare for him. He doesn't have pace. He's not a pacey guy. No. He's not going to, you know, beat two men down the line and then fire it across. That's just not in his skill set, and that's fine. We saw today he had a wonderful kind of spin move to get away from a player on that right side. He uses his brain. He's a very thoughtful player. I really like. I like the way that he plays a lot. Chris Peters says Maddison will be world class in years to come. Midfield baller. I could not agree more, Chris. I could not agree more. Total midfield baller. And I would argue that he's on the verge of world class.
You know. Wow. He can do everything a world-class player can do. He can score goals. He can bring other players into play. His hold-up play, his vision. He's got it all, the boy. You know, and he's got a good shot as well. Very accurate shot, and he can score goals. Yeah. Goals are gold dust, aren't they? You know, if you can score goals, you know.
Yeah,
he's fantastic. I love him.
Same. 100% the same. And people will talk about, you know, consistency is what's going to make him world class, I think. And he's been consistent since the start of the season. He looks like he's been a Spurs player for years. And, you know, I know everybody's saying that, but have you ever seen a player so seamlessly slot into the 11? I mean, it's like, it's like he's been here forever.
Yeah, true. And
he also seems to have matured a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
I used to think he was kind of
I think he's just had twins, hasn't he? So he's got his work cut out at home as well. So, have you heard that song, Born to Play for Spurs? Mm-hmm. That was James Maddison, Born to Play. Do you know, we touted him ages ago when David Pleat was around. We touted him when he was a young lad, and we never went for him when he was. I think he was playing either for Coventry or Norwich, one of the two. Yeah. Norwich City, and we touted him, and we didn't quite get him over the line before Leicester snapped him up. You know, we could have got him when he was a lot younger, but listen, we've got him now. That's the main thing, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, we can't look back. We've got to look forward. Yeah.
We finally got him, and for 40 million. I mean, in this market, that's a bargain. We paid more for Brennan Johnson. So
I know.
Who's not a very known quantity.
Real
quick, I wanted to say a shout out. We got a really special guest watching the show. Spurs parent up. That's my mom down there.
Hey, mothers.
Big up, mom. If you want to join, the link is in the chat, mom. So come on in if you want.
It's a family affair.
Exactly. That's how I started streaming. Me and mom just talking Spurs.
See, your mom taught you well.
yeah, she sure did. No, I got her into Spurs, and it took a while. But she's fully coys, as they would say.
That's right. Have you got any brothers and sisters, Colin?
I'm an only child.
Only child, nice one. See, I've got 7 brothers, right?
How many?
7.
Whoa!
What am I doing? 7 brothers, right? And 5 are still alive. I lost 2 of my brothers very sadly, but
sorry about that. Yeah.
You know what? The 2 that we lost, right? They were big. We were all big Spurs fans. We were all born in Tottenham. All of the whole lot of us, and we grew up a stone's throw away from the ground. So it's in our heart. And my dad, he was a fantastic Spurs fan as well. He saw even better teams than we have now, like the 1950-51 team, the 1960-60s team. We've done the double, he saw it all. And when I was a little girl, he was whispering in my ear, Yeah, and then I went and played for Spurs Ladies. So I really enjoyed my time playing for Spurs Ladies. But it's not about me, it's about the team now. So I think this team has got the core to become a great team, right?
Yeah.
All they need is a little bit of more tweaking, maybe one more centre-back and one more striker in the January sales. We can pick up 2 gems like we did with Kulu and Bentancur. And we got Bentancur to come back as well.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. Hopefully. And I mean, he looks like he's training hard. It looks like he's working really hard on his rehabilitation. Yeah. So hopefully he comes back just as strong as when we lost him. So I also wanted to real quick say big up to Wayne Bonner, who's in the chat. What's up, Wayne? Wayne's been here since the beginning with me. So I got love for Wayne all day long. He's a great man. Scott M is also in the house. Says big up, Colin. Good to see you back on YouTube.
Keep it clean now, Scotty.
I would love to see know exactly, Scott, how you feel about that match, how you think it all went. Just your take on it, because I know we often have different takes on things, and I like that. I feel like that's healthy. So Scott, I would love to hear.
Very honest with his opinions, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's clear cut. He gets to the point. Yeah.
He does. He doesn't beat around the bush. You know how Scott feels, and I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
My mom wanted to say she's 4 brothers, and just lost one in April. So she knows how it goes.
I know how you feel.
Yeah. But back on the happy.
Come on, the happy.
Yes.
Train.
Nick Brown in the house. What is up, Nick? Good to see you. Good to have you here. As part of Talking Ball, as I kind of make my slow return back to YouTube. So I have a couple questions, and I was gonna pose them up, and I was gonna wait until more people joined in, but that's totally cool. We can ask them again. So Chris Peters says Sonny looked happy before the game. He thinks he was happy up front with the team around him, i.e. no Richie. So that kind of brings me to my first question. Sonny, is he our forward? Or is he our striker? Or is he a winger? And I'd like to hear what you think, Ellie. Where do you think he's most effective? Where do you think he'll play this season? Do you think up front is his new spot, or do you think he'll revert back to that left-sided winger?
No. 100% forward. Not only because of today's match, but because of the history of Sonny. He plays his best football through the middle. When he's
Truly.
on the wing, especially on that left wing, he's got a cut. And his right foot is the best, right? So it is good that he cuts across. But what they do, they know, right? They know and they can track him. But today, he went like a bit like a Frankie Lampard, stealing in and like a ghost, ghosting into the penalty box. And they never picked him up. He's a very clever player, Sonny. He doesn't get a lot of credit. He finds
space.
Yeah, he finds pockets of space that are danger areas for the opposition.
And he's just got such a good head on him. He thinks more than I feel like Richie does. Like that first goal of his, for example, I feel like Richie would have smashed that into the goalie or the defender, oncoming defender, instead of having the nuance to chip it up, over like that.
Yeah, he's just got that extra je ne sais quoi. Hasn't he?
Exactly.
He's got that extra finesse, and his touch was sublime today. Everything that went into him, it was like it was glued to his boot. It's fantastic.
Oh my gosh, the touch that led to that first goal of his. Oh my God, he brought it down so beautifully.
I know.
I don't know. Brilliant. I know it's a little early to say Sonny's back, but I mean,
give him a chance. We'll see. Yeah. The next match. I think we've got a 2-week international break, and then we play Sheffield United. I think we've got one more game before that, but I can't remember. But
I know we have Liverpool and United, or not? Sorry, Liverpool and Arsenal coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, that's quite soon. But I think we on the 16th of September. I know we're playing Sheffield United because I bought my ticket for the match. Because I don't want to be a season ticket holder. I just want to go to. I go to about 95% of the matches. There's only a couple of matches I missed last season, but
even without a season ticket, that's impressive.
Difficult. Yeah, I mean, I have to be there because I go into section 252. I've said this many times. It's where all the nutters go, Colin, like me. We're all crazy fans, and we're all like from the same sort of era, 1960s, 1970s. And there are some youngsters who go in there, but it's mainly my age group and maybe slightly younger, but not much younger. And I love it. There's one lady in there called Margaret, and I see her all the time. She's about 75. She's seen it all. I love her.
I bet you guys get wild over there. I bet it's a wild bunch.
Football fans, right? We're passionate, right? You've got characters. Right, and you get to know people in your section as well, and it's like a family, It's lovely. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I've made a family with y'all, and I just know you through, online through YouTube. So yeah,
it'd be lovely to meet one day as well if you get over to a match.
I'll be back. I'll be back in England in May. And there's a match that's going to happen while I'm there. I need to look it up on the calendar, and so I'm desperately looking for some tickets. So yeah, I think I'm going to do my best to scout me some tickets.
Are you coming with Mum?
Oh yeah, Mom's coming, wife's coming, and then my best buddy Nick's coming too. So I've got a crew. We're traveling together. Oh yeah, it'll be good. We're going to England, Amsterdam, Ireland, and then back to England, I think. Yeah, it's going to be a nice little 2-week
Ireland
journey.
Are you going? Where in Ireland are you visiting?
Dingle, I think is what it's called.
Dingle.
I've never even heard of it. So this was my buddy Nick's idea, but it's a beautiful place. I've been looking at pictures. It's absolutely gorgeous on the coast as well. Lots of hills and it's very small town. It's gonna be lovely. I'm really excited. Sounds like a nice,
it's really lovely. I went over for my 60th to Dublin. And I met Dermot and Dave Irish Hotspur.
That's awesome.
They came all the way. Dave came all the way from Kildare, and Dermot came all the way from Wexford, which is like a couple of hours away for both of them. And we met and we went out for a steak dinner. Dublin is so beautiful. If you've got time, try and go to Dublin as well because it's so lovely. Very cultured place, and the Irish dancing. Oh my God, it's amazing.
Have me a couple of Guinnesses while I'm there, you know.
Yeah, and it's proper Guinness. You know, the draft Guinness. If you go to Dublin, go to the Guinness factory. Right?
Okay, yeah.
It's amazing. They put what they do. They take a photo of you and they put it on top of the Guinness. So
like on the phone.
Face on top of the Guinness. Yeah.
How do they do that? That's wild. I've been to the Heineken brewery, but never obviously Ireland. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'll see if I can get that going. Yeah.
Yeah, the Guinness factory is fantastic. And it's not expensive either. It's cheap.
Look at this, flying into Dublin, says Mom. So we'll be able to make it happen, I think.
Come on.
And look, Chris Peters, lovely guy. Ellie, you do not look like you're 60. So yeah.
Moisturizer.
You're good. Yeah. You're a good guy, Chris. Glad to have you here. And Nick Brown. So Sheffield is our next game, Ellie. And Nick Brown says we owe Sheffield a spanking.
Yeah,
truly agree.
Truly agree. I can't wait. Yeah.
No, I fully agree, and I think it's another one that we're really gonna try to make a statement of intent, show what we've got for the rest of the season, show that we're not afraid. We're gonna. I really like that Ange plays the same style no matter who the opponent is.
Yeah.
Something about that. I really respect that. That he believes enough in his style and in the way he plays that, we're not gonna play any differently against Arsenal. We're not gonna play any differently against City. And I think that's the way it should be. I think we've got the crew, believe it or not, to go toe to toe with those guys. And it's funny. I was looking through my banners, and I saw this one. It's an oldie. I said, "Do we have the squad to play Papa Pasta's style?" And it looks like we do. It looks like we do. At least our first team, and we'll leave that second team stuff out of here. But
on what was it on Tottenham away, right? They've got a guy called Minerals who goes on a lot. You must have seen him. He's called Mineral. And he loves Ndombele. He's like a big fan of Ndombele. We were like giving it to him yesterday, saying that he's too lazy. He's got all the talent, but no application, right? Whereas this team, they've got the talent and they've got the application, right? That's what you want. It's not worth having all the talent if you're not going to put in a shift and work as a team and work hard for one another. Because that's what Manchester City do. They don't go on that pitch thinking we're Billy Big Bollocks and we're gonna win every match. They make sure they win the match. Yeah.
Absolutely.
They go on that pitch with all their minerals, like Minerals says.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I feel like that's something Alex would say too. Minerals.
Yeah. Alex, box office, Alex.
Yeah, Mr. Box Office himself. Hey, I would say big up to Box Office if you guys haven't already.
Yeah, come on, Alex, come and join
definitely
us.
Go check out his channel. Yeah. But I want to say hey to Kate, just the girl who loves Spurs. Nice to have you. Nice to have you here. God, can you tell that I'm just like a big kid in a candy shop right now? I'm so happy. It feels like Christmas morning, especially after Tuesday's crushing defeat. I was off work on Tuesday. And I planned my entire day around that match. And as soon as the starting lineup was announced, I was like, oh God. But enough about that.
No, we've got to move on. Yeah, because that's like past. Now we're in the future.
Exactly.
Kate knows. She's very positive. But when she has to say something against the team, she'll voice her opinion, which I love. You can't paper crack over all the faults from that match, but we played so well today, and that is our team. That is the way we're going to play,
Yeah, absolutely.
We're proving it. Yeah.
So, yeah. Hell yeah, I will tell it how it is. Kate's awesome. I just met Kate recently, and she's lovely. I love Kate.
She's brilliant, and her show, Just a Girl Loves Spurs, fantastic. Get over there and subscribe, everybody.
Absolutely, everybody get over there. Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs.
Brilliant.
Definitely show her some love, please.
Yeah.
So Big Ange has us cooking now, 100%, Ma. And I like you were saying, Ellie. it's okay to have the talent, but you got to have the application. I think sometimes the application could make a team better than the individual talent of its own players, if that makes sense. You get the right system, you get them all clicking together, working for each other. A team can play better than the sum of its parts as long as everybody's doing their part.
Yeah.
So even though we don't have the strongest squad, I'd say our midfield honestly is one of the strongest in the league.
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, but even 100%. In some positions where we're not as good, I feel like other players help make up for it. We pull each other up. We build each other up. We don't blame. You don't see a lot of blaming and hands up in the air and pointing as some players used to do. Dyer.
Yeah.
But
do you know what, Colin? Do you know what? Right. You referred to pasta earlier today, right? In one of your right. So I think what we're doing, we're not getting the packet pasta. We're making our own pasta. We're rolling it out. We're spinning it around that maker, and then we're stretching it out, and we're putting all the juice in, all the sauce in, and we're coming out with sexy pasta. Come on, because that performance was near on perfect. There's a few tweaks here and there and a few stray passes that we could have done better with. But look, we scored 5 goals and we could have had 10, really. We really could have had 10.
We did take our foot off the gas a bit.
Yeah, we took our foot off the gas, which is understandable because he changed it
injuries.
Around as well. Once you put Højbjerg and Skip on, you don't get the same. You don't.
Right.
Even though I love Højbjerg, he's a different type of player. He's not going to give you all the sauce. He's just going to make the pasta and then let the others do the sauce. You know what I mean?
There you go. I like it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I was talking to my mom right after the game, actually, and I was saying that I think if Postecoglou had other options, I'm not sure he would play Skipper Højbjerg. I think he would probably prefer players that fit his system better and could keep that same attacking intensity going.
Yeah, because he's inherited them, hasn't he, Colin? He's inherited these players.
He has.
And they were. I was on Irish Hotspur, and I was in the chat, and I was saying that Højbjerg brings value to the team as well. He might not be everybody's cup of tea, but what he does is he's an experienced player, right? He's not like a Maddison or a Basuma. We know this, right? But he can do other things to help the team. And like as a squad player now, he's not going to get first team football unless somebody gets injured. We know this, but then he's just one of those players. Like I said before we started, he's like Marmite. You either love him or you don't.
Yeah. I just want to make sure he wants to be here still.
I like that type of player alongside 2 players that can play.
Let him sit.
Out and put Højbjerg in. I don't think you lose too much. You lose maybe a lot of the running forward, right? Because Pape Sarr's got more legs on him, but then you've got the experience. So it's you got when you play teams like Sheffield United as well, right? I think Højbjerg should start for that match and have Basuma and Madders in front of them. I just feel that he can't play Pape Sarr every single match because he's only young. Yeah,
that's very true. Yeah, don't want to run him into the ground.
Time. Yeah,
definitely. You can hurt a player's career, by doing, by playing him too much while they're too young. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. He's only a young boy and he's just learning the game, right? But he is a tremendous player. I love 100%.
Him. Real quick, Ellie, we've got somebody in the background. We got a treat. Here we go. 1 second.
Hey, Chris.
Hi.
Hello.
How's it going, buddy?
Hi, nice to meet you. Colin, is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hi.
It's really nice to meet you, man. How's it going?
Yeah, not bad. Just woken up. So I'm a bit of a state. Hello, Queenie. How you doing?
Hello, Chris. You right?
Hello, my darling.
Come on.
Hey. Thanks for having me on.
Jose.
Yeah,
Come on, Jose.
Thank you so much for joining us. I truly appreciate it, man. Did I see you say that you were sleeping during the match? You fell asleep?
I can't hear you properly. Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Oh, Did you say that you fell asleep during the match?
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I fell asleep on the sofa 20 minutes before the match, and I woke up about 10 minutes to the end. So,
Oh no! Well, hey, still,
nice
you got to see some good football, and obviously those highlights. You're gonna be a happy guy when you see those.
Yeah, I've already seen the goal. I saw Burnley. Burnley's second goal. But I saw the highlights, and pretty good stuff. So yeah. Listen, there's a few details that didn't impress me, but the rest, I mean, brilliant. I mean, to wake up and see that we're smashing them 5-1 away, doesn't really surprise me, because I thought that with an open play team like Burnley were going to be, knowing Vincent Kompany and how he plays, we were going to do the business because we were going to control the ball. So it doesn't surprise me. But a few details that I didn't like from what I saw. The first goal I didn't like that we conceded, and the second one we should have been a bit more, I don't know, forceful to not let them dance around us. But hey, goals are goals, and they have to come from mistakes from somewhere. So that's just the way football goes, really.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would have been much happier if the result ends at 5-1 instead of 5-2. I know it's a small gripe with a great performance, but it just doesn't look as good. It just doesn't.
I mean, when they look at, when you look back at your errors, right, and how you can improve, that's basically the only way you're going to get better, by looking at them and improving on that. If you think that you're doing everything right and you're winning and everything goes well, you're going to think that there's nothing to improve on, and then out of the blue you're going to play a Sheffield United, and something could go wrong because you're steadfast and you're comfortable and you think that everything's going brilliantly. You need a couple of things to go wrong within a match to hey, keep on the ball. And I'm sure Ange is not going to let them slip up. So he doesn't want them to feel comfortable. So you need to be awake. You need to keep alert. Oh,
you're back. Sorry about that.
I just appeared.
Mistake on my part. Yeah,
that's right.
Sorry.
No problem.
But yeah, wow. Bayern won 2-1, says Scott. Go Harry Kane, I guess. I'm sure he got one of those 2 goals. So.
Good. I don't know. I haven't seen anything. As I said, I was asleep all afternoon. I haven't got a clue about anything. So I'll be
glad you're awake with us now, man. It's good to have you here for the party.
I think we were. I don't know. We were chatting yesterday between talking about something or other. Yesterday on someone's chat, and I asked you if you rated a player. I'm not sure who it was. I can't remember. But I think people were happy to see you. You were on hiatus or something, or you've come back from something or other, and just to interact is great, because a lot of people ignore other people's comments, and it was good to see you interact with me, and I appreciate that. And to be on with you now, and especially with Queenie, she's my mother, my football mother, so to speak, and co-host on the channel.
Really. Yeah.
Well, yeah, sure, but yeah, you're everyone's mother, man. So it's great to be on the show with you, and so it's really cool.
We have Chris Agenbar in the house.
He's doing a consumer, I think.
I haven't seen Chris Agenbar in a while, so I just wanted to real quick say hello to Chris. Chris, it's good to see you. I did see you in the background on, was it Ben Kaufman's the other day? I did see you lurking around in the background there, Chris. It's good to see you though, man. I hope you're doing well. Hope everybody's good. And I just want to say, everybody that's here, thank you so much for being here. If you're watching this live with me now, or you're watching a replay, thank you so much. Truly appreciate you spending your time with me and Ellie and Chris. I mean, I I know that everybody's streaming today. There's streams all over the place.
Yeah.
But I noticed that there really wasn't one going right now, and I just wanted to, like I said, keep the party going, keep the good times rolling, and
sure.
yeah. So also, you guys, American stuff here, so don't hate me, but there's a song called "Bad Medicine" by Bon Jovi. Yeah. I think we could make a James Maddison chant out of that. And we could.
Right.
Our team has got James Maddison.
Oh, that
James Maddison is what we need. Oh,
well, yeah. Not bad.
Could be better. Could be worse. I've had worse songs I've made up. So it's there.
Pretty. Yeah. Could work. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm just enamored with James Maddison. I used to hate that guy. Like, there were stories of him being really arrogant and rude to people. And one time, I remember he got into it with a cab driver because don't you know who I am, and that type of thing. And he was a little big for his britches, I think, for a while. But that he was a young man. He was a very young kid playing professional football. Of course, you're going to have a big head. I think. Like me and Ellie were saying, his new babies, he's just growing up, he's maturing, and
it's ego. It's ego, isn't it? And I think I don't know. I mean, I don't want to talk about other people and what they've said, but on other streams, someone that's close to the club and in the know has said that exactly. James Maddison was a bit egotistic, and now because he's got a family and he's a bit more settled down in the head, and he's much nicer to be around, and he's just basically settled. He's grown up and he's matured, and he's not like that anymore. So people change, people improve, and good. It's good stuff. And we're lucky to have a player like that for such a small fee. When you see others are going for such hefty prices. We're lucky to have such a gem of a player for such a small fee in comparison to others. So, we're lucky. Brilliant to have him.
Truly. Real quick, what do you guys feel? Okay, so real quick, do you guys think that would you rather have had Ansu Fati or Brennan Johnson? Real quick, I just want to get that out there because I know that.
Well, I'd rather have Brennan Johnson, and I'll tell you why. Because, first of all, he's going to be our player for the entire of his career, unless he sort of becomes a superstar and then he goes to Real Madrid, like a lot of the Welsh boys have done. Right? But
great point, yeah.
Because Ansu Fati would have only been a loan for 1 year and then he's gone. And there's no option to buy. No. I don't see any value in that. So to get
especially with us paying 100% of his wages, you know what I mean? I think he's on 200 plus K a week. I mean, but we've got Scott, of course. On the contrary, Scott says he would have rather had Fati, 100%.
Yeah, in terms of stature of a player, you'd say Fati is a Barcelona, right? So he's already made it as a young lad. He's surrounded by fantastic players who he's learning off. And now he's gone to another team, Brighton, who have actually won 3-0 tonight, I think. Right. Against a very good Newcastle side. I think Ferguson scored a hat-trick. But that's another story. But Fati, if he was coming, right, with 1 year or 2 years with an option to buy, yes. But because it's just 1 year, I don't see a value in that. When we've got Brennan Johnson, I know Postecoglou loves him. He actually adores the player, right? He's been watching him. So I think it is a Postecoglou signing. A lot of people saying it's a Levy signing, but I don't buy into that because the boy's got pace, and he's only 23. He's got a lot to learn still, but he's going to be surrounded by very good footballers, and he'll get even better. Maybe in the future if Fati becomes available again, but we can buy him. Yes.
I just worry about that. I just worry about that knee that's had 4 operations on it already.
I know.
That's the one thing that scares me.
Listen,
keeps on breaking down, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's he's not all right. I want to clear up that thing because Colin, I'm also a Barcelona supporter as well. I've been Spurs and Barcelona supporter since 1983. For those who know me, but for those who don't, I clear that up as well. So I can also talk about Barcelona. Ansu Fati is not injury prone, as Nick Brown said, and big up to Nick. Love you, man. He's not injury prone. He's had a lot of knocks and he's had a lot of this, that, and the other, but that doesn't make you injury prone because a knock is not an injury. He has had a very bad injury to that knee, right? And when he came back, he went injured again, and he's had 4 operations on that knee. That's fine, but okay. Now the thing is, if you're gonna compare Ansu on loan or Brennan Johnson as a signing until 2027, 2028, I think that is it's a 5+1. I think it is, right? Of course, I give Early props on that because you're actually signing a player. And if in 2 or 3 seasons, whatever, he's not happy or you're going to make big bucks off him, you can sell him. Whilst on Fati, you can't do anything because he's just a season loan. So that's a no-brainer. But in comparison to the players, I'm not convinced that Fati, regardless of his injury, is 100% up here. Because when you're not convinced of your physical attributes, right, after such a bad injury that has repeated itself, right, you kind of doubt, you see. So I would have Johnson all day long, regardless of the contract, on the contractual dealings.
Oh, so if you could have had Fati on a long term, like an actual signing, you still would have chosen Brennan Johnson?
Yes.
Great. That makes me happy. As a person, I don't know much about Ansu Fati, so I can't really speak.
He was on fire. Detail. He was on fire before his first injury. I mean, there's no comparison. If you had Ansu Fati today and Brennan Johnson today without any injuries, Brennan Johnson is nowhere to be seen. You've got Ansu Fati 1,000% because he was on fire. But that injury, because it's repeated itself so many times, you've just got to wonder. You've just got to wonder if it's going to repeat itself, if he's taking care of himself 100%. He's a young guy. He just doesn't want to be worrying about his injury so long. And a lot of the times it's mental. It's the mental aspects of things, not just the physical side of things. So you've got to take that into consideration as well. From where he was at such a young age to where he is now, that he's still young, and to the future, it has to be mental. So I would take Brennan Johnson. I'm sorry, I mean, he's Barcelona player still, although he's on loan, but I don't know. That's just very dodgy,
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Mama makes a good point here. Says we're building need players to grow into the system. Totally agree. And I mean, if it's true that that he's been watched by Postecoglou for years, I truly believe Postecoglou would have had him at Celtic if Celtic had the budget to snag him. But I just don't think they did.
Whether he wanted to go to Scotland, because that's a big move for a young boy. Maybe when he's older in his career, like Gaza did, once he came back from Italy, that's a different option.
And then we got Scott.
Yeah.
Then we got Scott here saying that he chooses talent, even if for short term, over mediocrity for long term. But Johnson does fit in with our mid-table ambition now. Scott.
Oh,
I love you, buddy. I love you, but I disagree.
Well, we're not
wholeheartedly.
at the moment. We're second.
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 But I mean, I do understand Scott's reluctance to get excited about things. It hasn't been a great couple of years to be a Spurs fan. Let's just be honest. But Scott, I think we're on the up and up, buddy. I think
give the boy a chance.
Yeah,
because he has got minerals. He can score goals. He's got pace.
Yeah.
He just needs to improve his all-round game, but we can work on that. And he's going to be playing with a lot more better players than he did at Forest in terms of the midfield, picking up the ball and running with it.
He'll have a different role too. I mean, Forest played kind of a counter-attacking style.
They do.
Whereas we're
more cultured.
Right. More possession based. I mean, I think that he's going to thrive here. I can't wait to see him. I can't wait to see where he plays.
Give the boy a chance.
And I think we're moving towards more of a fluid front three. I don't know if you guys agree, but I definitely could see, our front players kind of interchanging a bit, and I think Brendan Johnson would be wonderful for that. He could play, he could I think he'd play in the 9, but he could definitely slot in across that front three pretty much anywhere, and that's valuable. I mean, we need all the options we can get. As we saw today, having another winger allows Son to play in the middle, and we've been crying out for that, or at least I have.
Yeah.
I'm man, I hate to be down on players, but I'm tired of Richarlison right now.
He looks like a lost puppy when he came on.
I think he's trying to overdo things. He's trying to overdo things, overcomplicate when the simple things seem so difficult. And when you're watching a match, it's just, hey man, just pass it back, pass it next to the guy you've got, and he's trying to flick it over someone's head, or like I saw today, or someone was commenting, I don't know, and it's, listen, just pass it back, pass and move, just pass and move. It's just that simple, and he's not, and he's trying to do something complicated, and the game against Fulham
himself, that's his own, you know what I mean, he tries to do it all himself,
but I think he's trying to prove it to himself, and that's in detriment to the team. But I think he needs that confidence, because his confidence is like minus 500. It's just not there. And regardless of what he does in training and, whatever, on the pitch, he just seems so lost of everything. So, and of course, then you've got like 30, 40,000 people watching him. And then the expectation, or what he thinks the expectation is of him, which of course exists. It's just, I don't know. Is time running out? That's what he might think. Is time running out for me? Is Ange going to bench me? Is someone? And then when you get Heung-min Son scoring a hat trick in his position, it doesn't help. So,
and I heard, what was it on James Spurs related? Somebody made a comment in the chat, I think, or the two boys were talking, and they said that he hasn't scored with his feet at Spurs. All the goals he scored with his head.
I mean, it is facts. It's facts, isn't it? He scored the other day.
He hasn't scored with his feet.
That goal the other day would not have happened had Dude's shoe not broken and that left side, or our left side, their right side, been completely open. You know what I mean? Their right back had to go off the field. Yeah. So we had a free reign to run down that side. Perisic could put in a perfect cross.
Yeah.
It was just not good.
That defender was playing a worldie as well. He was really having a good match.
Everyone says, "Oh, we only lost that game in penalties," but we wouldn't have made it to penalties had we played their full 11 the entire time. I don't think, but that's a whole other kettle of fish.
Well, yeah, but you can. I mean, obviously, we're not Man City, but look at Fulham today against Man City, 5-1. I saw, and I'm not saying that we're that level, because we're not. But if you can play to your standard, so to speak, and we're getting there. But if you can play dominating football and you can do what you want to do, as we showed that we can, do better with our best players, right? Well, we could have potentially beaten Fulham and gone through to the next round had we played with our better players. So it's, you know what I mean. So
it hurts me, honestly.
They all had thinkers, the whole lot of that team. It's not so much. When you go on the pitch, whatever 11 you put out should be able to beat Fulham when you look at our squad compared to theirs, right? But because it was away as well, and the match just didn't go our way, and every single player didn't have a good game. Maybe the only one who could really walk off the pitch and say he played okay was Van der Ven. But even him scored an own goal. So it's very rare that the whole team plays like really bad.
Yeah, it is. But they did have a good game. But no. I said it on the day, or on the night. Sorry. That props to Fulham, because Fulham had a good game and they closed down the space, and they play as well. It's not just Spurs playing on their own, or against themselves. Fulham played a good game as well. So or decent enough to go through, albeit on penalties, but they held a 1-1 draw against Spurs that normally control the tempo, they control the ball and the possession. Well, Fulham had a decent enough game, so I mean, enough to go through. So I mean,
Fair play
It's just
to them.
opinions at the end of the day. I know a lot of people disagree, but that's the way I see it. They had a decent enough game to draw 1-1 against a side that fielded 9 subs. That's okay, but they did enough to close us down and have a bad night. That's all they had to do.
You could tell to them the game meant more to them than it did to us,
Yeah,
or to at least to the players out there. They came out with a
exactly.
point to prove. They came, you know what I mean, with a chip on their shoulder, and that's the way I want us to play. You know what I mean? I want us playing that exact same way.
Yeah, that's the least. Yeah, the least you can expect. Yeah.
Yeah, and we played so many players who didn't think they were going to be there. I don't think past the transfer window. It was just, I don't know. At the very least, keep your starting keeper in is what I always say. No reason to be changing out keepers. And I know that he didn't have a terrible match during the match, but for penalties, I wish we would have saved a sub for penalties and subbed him in before the shootout at least.
Yeah, true.
Like maybe not put Scarlett in. But I do know that Lo Celso got hurt and someone needed to come in, but chuck Maddison on. But I understand also we run the risk of running Maddison into the ground, and I don't want that to happen either.
Wow.
So it's I understand and just do kind of a balancing act right now, but that one went wrong. And then, you have people saying he threw it on purpose or that, Levy told him to. Not sure if I buy that. I just think it might have just been a bad decision, and everybody, gets one of those. So that's fine. That's fine. But real quick, I just wanted to throw this up there. Nick Brown loved Sonaldinho's chip. So calm, so calculated. Completely agree. I thought he took an extra touch. I thought he took one too many touches there for a second, and I thought that the opportunity was gone. And then that beautiful little dink. That was lovely, absolutely lovely. He seems confident. I mean, and Son's biggest problem, I think, is his lack of confidence as well. He obviously puts a lot of pressure on himself to help the team to do well. I think he feels like he owes Spurs a lot because, we let him, go to the was it the Asian Games, was the Olympics? I don't know, but we let him go and get his military exemption, whereas Leverkusen wouldn't let him go. I think he feels he owes a lot to the fans, to the team, and so when he doesn't perform, he really gets onto himself. But he looked happy today, like somebody else said. He looked the old Sonny, and I really hope we see more of that. I know that he got that hat trick against Leicester last season, and then went on to not really do a whole lot still. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how it goes this time. But I mean, if we can get Sonny fit and firing again. And then keep Solomon on this trajectory that he's on, or we get Brennan Johnson going. I mean, we've got, I don't know, we've got it. I mean, the only problem for me is, what if Son gets injured? Do you guys think it would be worth it in a game like today? So how we gave the last couple minutes to Richarlison. I kind of feel like maybe Veliz, is that how it's pronounced? Sorry for not knowing exactly.
Veliz Navidad, we call him.
It's right. There's the Z's in Spanish, in Spanish, right, from Spain. The Z's are th.
Oh, so okay.
So it's Beliz.
Oh, Beliz.
Beliz. Yeah. So you've got like an accent on the e, so it's Beliz. But the Z's. So it's Beliz. But then the Z's in South America, they pronounce them like an S.
Okay.
So Veliz.
Veliz.
It almost sounds like belief, and I like that.
Almost,
And I got belief in the kid. So so I know the highlight videos aren't really anything to go by, and the level of competition he was playing against, and this and that. But the guy knows how to find the back of the net. He doesn't seem allergic to goals like Richie does. I would love to see him get some minutes, even if it's just at the end of a match like this where we're clearly winning, we're clearly going to win. Let's see what the guy can do. I think that he will surprise people, and I think that he might actually be better than. Be better than Richarlison.
He plays like the last 5 minutes of like a game that you're winning 4-0, for example, at home, and if he like plays the last whatever, and he scores a couple of goals, in the last
It's gonna be
9 minutes
interesting.
of time added on, and he scores a couple of headers or whatever. And Richarlison has been playing for like 93 minutes, and he comes on and scores a couple. I don't know what Richarlison's face is going to look like, because he might actually hand in his players' resignation or something. He might, I don't know.
He's gonna hand
head
in
would
his
go in the jersey.
It's just because it's difficult. It's difficult whenever, you know. I'm sure it must be so difficult to be a professional and the so-called Brazil's number 9 that he's got, you know, plastered over his head, over his headboard, or in his bedroom, for example. I'm Brazil's number 9, and he can't score a blooming goal to save his life. And then some 12-year-old comes along and scores a couple of goals, you know, in time added on, and it must be so difficult. I don't know.
It's going to be heartbreaking for him. And like for Brazil, right, he scored 20 and 42. That's not a bad return. That's like running
think about who they're playing as
well.
Well, that too, and also the supporting cast. I feel like might be
for his national team, but he's not doing it for us.
Yeah.
Sounds like a certain Lo Celso.
Yeah, the thing with Lo Celso is so left-footed. It just drives me balmy, because he has to position himself.
Right.
He hasn't got a right foot.
He hasn't. Switch it to your right.
It's Eric Lamela. It's Eric Lamela all over again.
It's just awful. It frustrates me the way he plays football, and he's only got a left foot, and it's all you have to do is pass it with your right, because you're a professional footballer, right? And you play for Argentina, and it's just, can't you pass it with your right foot? You have to position yourself to always get it on the left foot and pass. Jesus, man! I mean, even my grandmother could do it. She'd been dead 20 years, and she could do it. Christ Almighty, man! It's just so frustrating that it drives me balmy.
I don't think he's got a career left at Spurs after that Fulham game. He was the worst. I would put my hat on it. We put it out to the chat who you think was the worst player. I'm saying
at Fulham.
Højbjerg was so shit as well, but he was more shit.
No.
Hey, and Relmy Kim, nice to see you here. Real quick, I just want to say, Relmy Kim, never seen you in the chat before, so very nice to have you here. Welcome, and hope to see more of you. You're a lovely person. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the Talking Ball crew. It really is nice to have you.
Sure. I actually think that that Højbjerg did all right actually against Fulham the other day. I think
he just missed a sitter.
Yeah, but he missed two. He missed two because he normally got a good shot, but it's just one of those matches. Nothing went right. No. Even the penalties. When we came to the penalties, I said we're losing this. I didn't have any.
Well, that's because Fraser the Tree Forster couldn't. Fraser Forster just can't get down. I mean, exactly. He's
like 10'4" or something. Yeah.
Just fell on his off. But everybody was saying because they've got an agenda. I think maybe they've got agenda against me or Højbjerg. But they were saying that why didn't he step up as an experienced player to take a penalty? But if they know what Postecoglou's like, he would have made a plan for the penalties already. So he probably had Sanchez because he probably thought, let him take one and it might lift his career. But he didn't because he didn't score. So I don't blame Højbjerg.
I don't even think Sanchez's penalty was that bad. That's a controversial thing.
It wasn't that bad, but it was quite a good height for the goalie to save it.
Yeah.
You know, you have to either hit high and hard.
It's
hard.
Listen.
Yeah, there wasn't enough pace on it.
You can only miss them if you take them.
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
So, I mean, that's typical.
To take one, just put it that way. You can't blame Sanchez because at the end of the day, anybody can miss a penalty. Anybody.
And when are they gonna enforce that stutter step run up bull crap we see?
Man. That makes me so frustrated.
It seems like we don't do that.
But there's still a
players do
it.
There's still a movement though, so you can't. Yeah.
And who was the other one who played for Chelsea, but he plays for Arsenal now?
Jorginho.
Oh my God, I wanted to slap him one. Because he hops, skips, and jumps before he bloody takes the penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, why was Forster so like? I know that you obviously can't leave your line, but he wasn't doing any of this. He wasn't looking people in the eyes. He wasn't mind games. So there was nothing.
Like most goalkeepers, they go up to the penalty spot and they put the player off, and then they go in their goal and they're doing all their business to put the player off. None. He just fell on the ground.
Too nice.
No, I think he knew. I think he knew that Sanchez were going to miss, so that he thought, well, what's the point? So yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I don't know, but he's just such a big guy that he thought, well, I'm useless at penalties anyway. So it takes 2 weeks to get down. So
he really does. And I had no idea that he was younger than Hugo. By the way, I thought that Forster was like 38. He's 35.
No, he's not.
Yeah,
no,
he's younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but Hugo's been around a long time.
Yeah, and Hugo's a weird one. Did we terminate his contract? Does anyone know, or is he still on the books?
Still around. Still on the books.
Yeah, he's still on the books. But do you know what? That's not our biggest problem, right? I think our biggest problem is not centre back. I think our biggest problem is on that right-hand side, because we've conceded against Fulham on that right-hand side. We've had different players playing there as well. We've conceded today 2 on the right-hand side, right? Or was it 1? Well, the second goal was definitely on the right-hand side, and it came in. Yeah. And he scored the goal. But it was on the right-hand
down the middle. Second goal was down the middle, Ellie.
Yeah, no, what I mean is like the play was coming from the... Was it coming from the left, our right, but their left?
Oh, all right, okay.
Yeah?
Well,
because Porro, he's fantastic at going forward. Defensively, he's still a bit suspect.
Yeah, but I think he's in.
We need better as a right back. I think we need a solid right back.
You don't think Emerson? You don't think Emerson could be that more defensive option?
No.
Yeah. He may be a better defender.
He's not good.
No, I mean he may be a better defensively, but his attacking output is not as good. So when you're predominantly an attacking team, you can't wane. You can't have Emerson in detriment to the attacking option and leave Porro out. But I think that Porro is in that process of becoming a better defender. It's just going to take time. You know what I mean? Time. So it's going to take time for him to acclimatize to become a better defender. Yeah. So are you going to leak a couple of goals every game? Fine, but you're going to score 4 or 5. That's great. So you're going to get the best of both worlds. So yeah, what's that then? If anyone else had taken that penalty, fans would have said at least stood up to take it. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
but then
I agree. I mean, it was Ange must have had a plan, right? So he's probably said to anybody what fancy a penalty, and he's had some players like Maddison and Sonny, they were definitely going to take one, weren't they? Right? And then you've got Porro, Højbjerg. He's a midfielder. He's got a good shot.
People give Ben Davies a lot of crap for not taking one, but I don't want Ben Davies taking one.
No, he'll miss. He'll miss the goal completely. But I was disappointed that Højbjerg didn't take one actually, because he's got a good shot on him. He really has.
Composed and he's strong. To be honest, can I tell you something, Ellie? And you're not going to like this, me saying this. I think that he was pouting a little bit that game. Højbjerg, I feel like he knew that he might be on the way out. He was kind of ready for his move. He you know what I mean? He wants to be a starter. He wants.
I'm very disappointed with him.
And so I feel like he might have been pouting that game a little bit.
I DM'd him, by the way. I DM'd him because I'm part of his fan club, right? I DM'd him and I said, "You had a very poor game today, but put it behind you." Right, and
so at least you were nice. You were kind. Most people are like, "Go kill yourself. You're terrible."
Jesus,
yeah.
He's a true professional player. He's not the best player. Everybody
good on you for being kind in your message to him. I appreciate your kindness.
He's not as bad as some people think he is.
No, he's not. He's not. No. But he's not bad. He's not a bad player, really. It's just I don't know whether we talked about this or.
And he's not limited either. He's not limited. I hear people say he's limited. So where is he limited? He can pass the ball. He's got a good shot. He fights for the ball. He can tackle. A limited player can't do that.
He does what he has to do in the context.
Special. He's nothing special.
No. But you don't have to be special. You don't have to be special. You have to do what you have to do properly.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
And he does.
And that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
But people expect
on that pitch, and he works hard. But not only that, he can pick out a pass. He hasn't got no vision, because, like you see, last season he created 6 goals and he scored 5. That's not a bad return for someone they say is limited.
No. But then that's what I mean. And I've done it, and I do it still, and whatever. And I can criticize because the emotion gets to you, and you think, oh, you bloody idiot, and why'd you do that for? But it's not the same watching it on TV whilst you're on the pitch, and you would know that, right? But if I want a destructive centre mid, right, to destruct and to close down the gaps and the passing lanes, a Højbjerg type player I would always want, because he's going to be the engine that will run for 90 minutes, and he's going to leave his heart and soul, and he's a Viking, and he's well disciplined and all of this and that, right? Yeah. And then he's the one that's going to, as I said, cut the passing lanes, and he's doing double to then pass the ball to the creative midfielders or out to the wing, and he's going to do that hard, dirty work that never gets the praise that other people does. Now, if you want Busquets, you're not going to get Busquets out of Højbjerg because he's not that player. No. So people have to give
Busquets by Pep Guardiola while he was at Bayern.
Well, there you go. Yeah, he was because he was at Bayern before he went to Southampton. That's correct. But then but then you have to see what players are able to do and adapt them to
a team. Yeah,
exactly. That is exactly right. Yeah. Yes. So, but people expect that Højbjerg is some kind of machine that will, I don't know, start flying and I don't know, score a goal with his teeth, and I don't know what it is, but he just does what he does, and he does it well. But he's not. I don't know.
He's not a limited footballer because he's not.
No, he's not. But he's nothing special. But he does things properly. No, he's nothing special, but what he does well, and that's it. And that's
why we didn't get rid of him. That's why we didn't get rid of him, because he's a decent enough backup.
Exactly. And you always want those players in your team.
And as long as he's got the attitude, right, and as long as he's okay with being here, and as long as he's down for Ange's cause, then fine, then I'm good with it.
Exactly.
And my beautiful mom here in the chat says he grinds. Not a lot of finesse, not great in the fast passing forward, but strong like a bull. And
fair enough.
He's faster than people think as well. I clocked his speed. He's 33.1 kilometers per hour. So he's the third.
How did you clock that?
Fastest player in our team in terms of running speed, right? Because you saw, that goal he scored against Marseille. You can see that he's got pace and he's got stamina, right? Yeah. But there isn't a Maddison in him. There isn't a Basuma in him.
No, because they're different.
He's different. He's a different player. Like you see Roy Keane in Man United. Right?
Cheers, Nick.
He was a different player from the other midfielders, and like he was their engine, he was their captain.
There you go.
You could rely on him.
There you go. He's reliable.
Yeah, but obviously Roy Keane was better than Højbjerg. I'm just saying.
But Højbjerg is like
to him because they're that type of player. They're gritty. They get
hard man.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I don't know. Well, guys, listen. Thank you for having me. I have to go because the little whippersnappers have got to go to bed. So
hey, Chris, it was wonderful having you, man. I'm going to start doing a daily show.
Lovely to see you.
It's going to be hopefully you can pop on some more.
Sure. We'll have to. Ellie, can you because you're in contact with Colin? You give him my details, please.
Yeah, of course I will.
Or whatever, and we'll sort something out. Yeah, if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
Perfect. Sounds
Cool.
lovely.
Yep. Thank you.
Come on,
all right.
man.
Later,
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah.
Hey, have a good one, mate. And thank you again for coming on. Truly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me,
Thanks,
Ellie.
Chris.
And bye to everyone in the chat. Take care.
Chris.
Hope everyone's well.
Take care.
Thanks,
Bye,
Chris.
everyone.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, bye.
What a good
Chris
dude.
makes sense, doesn't he?
He does.
He knows about football, right? He's a big Barcelona fan as well,
Yeah.
right? And coming from a different place to a lot of English fans as well, because like we're judging players on the Premiership quality, but he's seen like in Spanish football they're very technically brilliant, you know.
Right.
And
Yeah.
he's still talking about Højbjerg in a way that I talk about him, you know. But
Right, yeah.
like I said, this isn't the Højbjerg show anyway. The main thing is that we've got players like who can come in and not be as good, but they can do a job for you. Like Emerson's not as good as Porro. All-round play, we know Porro is better. That's why he's getting the start. He's not Postecoglou's not just putting him there because he favours him. He can see different traits in his play that brings more to the team, than Emerson offers. But not that saying that Emerson is a bad player. He's not a bad player, but he can't do what Porro does. Yeah, especially with the link-up play and bringing the ball forward.
Yeah. Agreed. But he's good, and I'm glad he's still here. Like I said, as long as he wants to be here and is down with the project, because that's what is the project. And I mean, he's used to being a starter. He's used to being the main man, and now he's going to have to take a back seat. And so I'm sure that hurts the pride. I'm sure that hurts.
It does.
You know,
right? He's not going to say it, but it must be hurting his pride because, like Jose Mourinho bought him from Southampton, and he was fantastic in that first season. He was awesome, right? And then he had 4 changes of manager, and they all stuck by him. And when he was playing with Bentancur, we had a 2-man midfield, Colin, and they were playing against 3 and 4 players. So they had their work cut out, and they still were coping. Those 2 were fantastic together. But when it's Skip and Højbjerg, you can see the drop off. You can really see the drop off when it's Skip and Højbjerg.
Yeah. And someone Nick Brown just said they trust Pierre way more than Skip, and I 100% agree with that. 100% agree.
Well, he's more experienced as well. He's further in his career than Skip.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Skip, after that injury, just hasn't been as good. But real quick, I just want to say, Chris, absolutely, thank you for coming on, my man. It was great. You helped make the show better, and I truly appreciate having you here. So I look forward to seeing you again, my friend. Good night, buddy. Tuck the kiddos in, and you know, have a good night for yourself, man. And thanks again for being here.
Yeah.
Good dude. Very good dude.
See, because I'm on his show as well, Colin, on Meta Football with Jose Eltel Coquerel. So we have a good time on that show.
Oh my gosh, I've seen. Okay, yeah, I need to. I'll be honest. There's so many shows I need to keep up with. I need to check it out. I haven't had the opportunity as of yet, which makes me feel bad now since he was just on mine. So I'll definitely have to check it out. And if you guys will have me, I'll love to come on your show as well.
I'll send you his details because it's always lovely to have an American view on things as well. Because like you're from the outside in, right, and your perspective of football is in line with ours, which is lovely because you've got that passion, you know, and you've got that love for Spurs, and it shows through on your show, Colin. I've always loved your show. I was sad when you wasn't on for quite a while, and I was looking, but you weren't there.
Yeah, work and life kind of got in the way, but I'm making some time. And
as well, didn't you?
Yeah, but I'm working later in the day, so I'm trying to do a daily show that's. I don't want to step on anybody's toes, and I'm trying not to have a show while anybody else has theirs, which is hard to do, first of all. But Kate was just saying, I think Kate's on at 1. I know Perchy is on it from 12 to 1. and then Kate's on at 1. I'm not sure how long her show lasts. I'll have to talk with her, but maybe I could go on like right after her.
Yeah, then Coffee Coffee. Ben goes on at 2.
Oh man, dang! This is a full.
And then he goes to about 3 or just over 3, and then THSC Till I Die go on at 4. So between 3 and 4, there's a slot there.
That might be my chance. Huh?
I've not seen anybody between 3 and 4, but I think there's one day where Ben goes on at 3:30. I think it's on a Wednesday when he does Brewing Bollocks.
Yeah,
that's a good show.
It sounds like a fun one. I'm gonna have to check it out. Like I said, I've been out of the game for a while, but it's really, really nice to be back. But on that note, Ellie, I feel my voice going. I'm getting the sore throat again.
We've had a good run.
We did great. Really. And thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, I just wanted to keep talking. I really enjoy talking with you and with everybody, with all the Spurs fans, and it's nice. And I'll keep continuing to do this. I'll let you guys know what the final time I decide on is, and try not to make anybody choose between shows. I would hate that. This way, you know what I mean? Everybody can watch everybody's show if they want to. And but yeah, so just wanted to say again, thank you for everybody that tuned in today. If you're watching this on replay, thank you so freaking much for that. I mean, it just makes my day that people want to come and watch and join in and be part of this. So thank you guys. It truly means a lot to me. And to the badge, I mean, we're all Spurs.
I'll put it around my socials and all around the network.
Yeah.
Because I only got a chance to pass it to the WhatsApp groups now. What I'll do, I'll post it everywhere for you.
Thank you.
It increases your profile as well. Gets you known in the community. Everybody on WhatsApp knows you, right? It's just that wider community. Because I've got loads of, especially on Facebook Messenger and Facebook, got loads of Spurs groups that are massive.
Do it, please. I'm trying to.
Your shows there.
I'm trying to grow. I know that that's not what it's all about, but I just want to get as many people involved as possible, and just have as much fun as possible. And real quick, before we close, I just want to show you a message from my mama here.
Yay.
Ellie rocks.
She's lovely. So
She's
do you,
best.
Julie. You've made this lovely son, so you rock all the way.
Good stuff. You're getting me emotional. Okay, but hey. Ellie and everybody out there, I think we're gonna end it. But
Bye-bye,
like I said, I'll be back for the daily show very soon, and I'll let everybody know when and what time and when that starts. Hope it could be as soon as Monday. So everybody stay tuned. Big love to everyone. And Meta Football TV says subbed. If you haven't hit the like, please do. And if you haven't subbed, I bet you have. But if you haven't, please do that too. And again, it means a lot. So thank you to everybody. And Ellie, do you got anything you want to say before we close it?
No, you've covered everything, Colin. And I just want to thank you for having me on. And
thank you for being on. It means the world to me. Thank you so much.
Lovely to see you back, man.
Yeah, lovely to be back. Well, on that note, everybody, come on, you Spurs, and let's go. Let's get the double. Double's still on, baby.
Come on.
Come on.